Yesterday, folks, as I was fixing the garden bed, preparing the new bed for the new season, top dressing it all, I mentioned briefly about strawberries and how they'd grown into there. Now, strawberries, I really haven't touched base on them in the past, not that much. So I thought I'd do a quick one on them because I've got a bed here that's taken over by strawberries. We've got some garlic, onions in here too. We've got some horseradish. We've got some celery leaf growing in there. Doesn't look like much at the moment. Basil will come up again on its own, and some lettuce will as well. But in the meantime, strawberries doing a great job of taking over. And how does it take over? Well, it sends off little side shoots. These little runners here, for example, see that there? It starts off from a main plant somewhere, and it might be here or it might be here. Either way, it comes from one plant, throws off a little pup on the end of it, and that sits on the ground and takes off new roots. Now, normally you would harvest these a lot sooner. Well, I did, in fact, taking a lot of them off. And that's what you get on the end of it, and they look a lot healthier than now. Now this is trying to come back to life again, but that little vine there over a season will dehydrate, and that has to become independent on its own. It's got to grow its roots out, settle into the soil, and start growing and producing. Now, as a pup, they've got more vigor in them than the normal mother plant, that is, the existing plant. So the aim is to actually harvest the pups as they grow, nice and young, transplant them into little pots, and then watch them grow. When they get bigger, put them in the ground if you like, or in a larger pot, because that's where you'll get more fruit off them. So a lot more vigor in the pups, but that's not to say that your strawberry plants, and if you come in here, you'll see we've got some mature plants here as well. If I go down here like that, there's been probably at least 2 or 3 years, if not longer. Now that one there has been throwing out shoots everywhere, sending out the love to reproduce and populate again this garden bed. See all these runners? All these are from a plant or 2 plants initially that I planted in here. I think it was about 3 or 4 in total. Now we've got them everywhere. So what I've done is harvested my little pups, the ones along the sides hanging, and the ones that are spread into this garden bed that I didn't want there. It was basically going around and finding all the little ones. Well, birds have been in here since I actually composted a bit here. And you find them and you basically pull them up. Now I just yanked that out with my hand there, folks. Roots and all, there's a little pup. Now you want to transplant that into another garden bed or a pot and watch it grow. You know, this is yesterday's harvest, folks. If you want to get an idea what I did, this was growing in the bed yesterday. These are all connected, all from one plant. Well, most of them are, and they're all growing independently. Have a look at this. Did I bring my secateurs? Yeah, I brought my secateurs. You can just pull these off if you like, but if you don't like tearing them like that, then just cut them off, you know. Some people prune, some people pull. We're just going to clean this up. Look at the roots. Now this is a new one. This is actually a couple of years old. Look at the woodiness there. So that's been pumping out little pups for a while for us, folks. So we're going to cut all these leaves off. Don't need it. Put that aside. Mind you, my little forest of leeks and onions. Have a look at this. Thousands. I know, it's congested. I just dropped a flower head here like that. See this flower head? Just a little thing. That's this onion flower head, and it's just grown everywhere. So I'm going to let it go. They're not ready to transplant, obviously. You will find these happening spring, summertime. At any time they're actively growing, you can harvest them off. Just snip it off the vine like that. Don't let it set roots in the ground, because whilst it's an aerial form, it's a lot easier to transplant and put it in, rather than taking it out of the ground like that and exposing all the roots. So a little bit of our soil, so I'm going to pop it in there like that, top it up on top. I'm just using the planting mix at the moment, folks. There we are, little pup, and there's the base of it there, or the top of it's going to come out. So just put that aside. There's one down, and about 500 to go. So strawberries, there's so many out there to choose from, folks. At the end of the day, one plant will produce this for you. And year after year, as they produce pups, harvest them. You can discard the old ones if you like, or put them aside, or put them into a garden bed where they can lay there and rest and grow out more, and use them as your breeding stock, or just chuck them out or give them to a friend, because they'll always get pups coming out of them. If they don't get the strawberries, they'll get the pups. And that's the thing about it. So transplant the little ones like that. Put one in your garden first, And once it grows, make 100 of them. And before you realise, you'll have a nice border along the edge of your garden bed with strawberries. Watch the birds, watch the rats, watch all the bloody pests come in and destroy them. That's why we put them in pots, hang them up on the wall, you know, or in a pipe, things like that. So be creative like that. Get them off the ground, maybe a little bit of mesh over the top, because they are chalk and cheese when it comes to eating a strawberry compared to the ones you get at the, you know where. Vasili'sGarden.com for everything you need. And enter winter specials on. I think this is the last blast of the winter, hopefully, is on. So take advantage of the great discounts. From me, Vasili, Maresi.